Alright guys, what is up? It's Fat Leo and I'm back with my team builder for my week 3 battle of the PCL against Arvin and the Vancouver Psyducks. So, some history about this. Last season of the PCL, Arvin 6-0'd me twice and went undefeated and won the whole thing. This season he's 2-0, so pretty exciting. Um, this dude is really good. He's probably way better than me. So I'm very hopeful about this battle, but I expect nothing but a loss. But I believe I believe I can win. If I play well, I'll maybe I can win. So I'm not like giving up, but I expect to lose, but I think I can win. If that makes any sense at all, probably doesn't. Whatever. So let's just get into the team. He has Victini, Rotom Wash, Jirachi, Nidoqueen, Haxorus, Braviary, Megalopony, Ludicolo, Togetic, Mismagius, and Sneasel. Now, this is the guy that I traded Weavile for Victini with. So, now Victini might potentially come back to haunt me, because Zardwise sets the sun, and it can be very dangerous. Good thing Miltank Walls, Victini, even, good thing Miltank Walls V creates even under the sun, so no problem there necessarily. He could be doing something tricky, but we'll see what's up. And my team is the same: Weavile, Melodic, Donphan, Greninja, Flygon, Miltank, Charizard Y, Aromatisse, Lando, Raichu, Reuniclus. This team's not going to change because I've got no transactions left, so that's what I'm sticking with. Let's get into this. I've got Trick, Recover, T-Wave, Psychic, Reuniclus. Why? Why T-Wave? Why Trick? So this is a physically defensive wall. First of all, it's a switch into Lopunny, and with Magic Guard, it always switches in on Lopunny, and I can keep it at whatever health I want by recovering whenever I want. So if I want this thing at max HP, it will be at max HP. So even if this guy fully hazard stacks me, I don't care because Reuniclus doesn't take damage on entry. This is good because if he's at half health, he can still or no, if this guy's at full health, he always switches in on Lopunny, and even if he's at more than full health, he switches in at like less than full. He can still switch in on Lopunny because he hardwalls Lopunny. Even Return does not do 50% to Reuniclus. Then I've got T-Wave to cripple it forever, and I've got Psychic to do a lot of damage for it. I don't expect him to stay on Reuniclus, so I may make a prediction and click Psychic, but I'm likely going to just recover. When I come in on Lopunny, I'm likely going to recover because I expect him to switch. And he doesn't exactly have a great switch into this, without the sun, Victini doesn't one-shot me, so I can T-Wave that. Nidoqueen is not a good switch-in because he can't one-shot me, and I hit it with a Psychic. Jirachi, I guess, is a good switch-in, but unless he's running sub, I'm going to T-Wave him. If he is running sub, that's a problem. Sub Jirachi is like the best set. I find that Sub Jirachi is really, really good. But yeah, this thing is going to be there to T-Wave some mons and as a direct response to Lopunny. Now, what Reuniclus is also going to do is trick a Scarf or a Band or a Specs onto something else. Because I feel like Arvin is definitely going to bring at least one trick mon, whether it's Victini or Rotom or Sneasel if Sneasel gets it, but I don't know. I don't know if Sneasel gets Trick or Switcheroo. But I feel like he's going to bring at least one trick mon, so I've got Trick there to trick it back to him. So I had to be safe with that. I would have preferred HP Fighting to be able to hit the Sneasel, since I have a Cobra Berry, so he can't Pursuit Chat me at least one time. But I guess T-Wave will have to do. Yeah, so then I've got Weavile. Weavile is my anti-lead of sorts. I kind of have a plan for this. I think he's going to lead with one of his two rockers, which is Nidoqueen and Jirachi, and neither of those outspeed me unless they're scarfed. So I think if he leads with a scarfed mon that sets rocks, then that's a problem for me because Nidoqueen with a fighting move will one-shot me, or even with a rock move if it gets one, which it probably does. And Jirachi will one-shot me with Iron Head if they're scarfed. If they're not scarfed, they're setting rocks. And I click knockoff on either one of them. I either kill Jirachi outright, or if he's some defensive set, I bring him down so low that another knockoff kills. So in no case, unless he's Colberberry, does Jirachi live if he's defensive. Also, the 44, why do I have it in HP? I need it in defense. The 44 in defense, I think, lets me live a non-invested Iron Head 100% of the time. I think it does a max of 99. So, yeah, that's that. Knockoff Icicle Crash sub fake out. So why do I fake out? I have fake out as a last resort answer to Life Orb, Adamant, Dragon Dance, Haxorus. I'll get into that a little later. But I've got sub. So Icicle Crash. Let's get to that first. I've got Icicle Crash just for general coverage. Hits Nidoqueen, hits Braviary, hits Haxorus. It hits Megalopunny. So it's good. It's useful. And sub is for Rotom because ideally he leads Nidoqueen, takes a knockoff, sets rocks, switches into Rotom. And then his Rotom, honestly, I will take rocks at that point. I will be okay with that because that Nidoqueen is going to be at about 20%, I think, after this Adamant Life Orb knockoff. So, yeah, Nidoqueen 20% or so after my knockoff. And then if he actually switches out into Rotom, thinking he walls me slash, which he does do, he does wall me, but, and then he can Pain Split or T-Wave or Will-O-Wisp or Volt Switch or Hydro or whatever, he may go into Rotom. If he just lets Nidoqueen die right there, I'm perfectly okay with that because rocks don't hurt Weavile. Weavile doesn't care about rocks because it's not like I'll be trying to take hits anyway. I pretty much one-shot Jirachi unless he's Colberberry, so like I don't really care about rocks. After 2 hits, I'm down to 80%. After rocks, I'm down to, what is it, 55? Yeah, 55. And after another Life Orb at 45. So Weavile's pretty much just going to be killing himself. So I don't really care about rocks anyway. And if his rocker is gone, I can just spin the rocks away with Donphan. And yeah, guys, this team builder is going to be pretty long, I think, because it's going to be really, really in-depth, because this guy is really, really, really good. And I just want to go over everything, my exact plan for this. So, sub on this guy. He goes into Rotom, takes about 40 to 45, I think, from a knockoff, after which I set up a sub, and he gets no leftovers recovery. When I set the sub, I want him to either go for for Pain Split, for T-Wave, or for Will-O-Wisp, because those moves don't hit me behind a sub. Ideally, he goes for Pain Split, or honestly, it doesn't really matter. Toxic, T-Wave, Volt Switch, or Pain Split really doesn't matter. So then he's in range of 2 knockoffs. So if he wants to break my sub with a Volt Switch, he takes knockoff damage. And at this point, this Rotom's at like 25%. So not really much of a problem because Miltank beats it at that range, Reuniclus beats it at that range, Lando beats it, Zardwai beats it, and yeah, there's not much he can switch it on. Although Reuniclus can get Paint Split on, which is a problem. But 4 Mons on my team will just beat it at that range and without giving it the opportunity to recover. Or do anything at all for that matter. And after I get rocks up, I mean that thing's just done. So, that's the plan. I want him to set rocks. I'll take the rocks at the start. I'll take them. Because if he lets Nidoqueen die, you know, I can spin him away. He has a spin blocker in Miss Maggie's, but I don't think he's bringing it. The ones that I think he's bringing are any combination of these 7. Victini, Rotom Wash, Jirachi, Nidoqueen, Haxorus, Megalopunny, and Sneasel. Sneasel, because Life Orb Sneasel or Adamant Sneasel is like his... It's like his last ditch answer for a Blackbeard that's like a sweeping Blackbeard. That's his only answer. That's his not only but last ditch. If he really needs this, then he'll bring that, and he can stop a sweep if I'm scarfed or whatever. Because I don't think he's gonna bring Togetic or Braviary. So his only ground resist / immunity is Rotom, and Rotom just dies, so like he can't necessarily rely on Rotom to stop a sweep because it's a Rotom. It's likely going to get worn down. So Sneasel with Ice Shard, very possible. Haxorus, because Haxorus tears a hole through my team. Haxorus honestly just tears a hole through anybody's team. And yeah, that's that. Next we've got my Miltank, who's my designated counter to Victini. Now if he's special Victini, I still live anything. He can't two-shot me with anything that's not a Focus Blast because of Thick Fat, so Blue Flare, his stab move, unless Psychic, but I haven't calced Psychic, but who the hell runs Psychic on Victini anyway? I mean, what would he even be trying to hit with Psychic on my team? There's like nothing to hit with Psychic. I've got like no Psychic weaknesses. Yeah, I actually have none. I actually have nobody weak to Psychic. Now, he may be worried about Weavile trying to Pursuit Trap him. Huh. That would have been a cool idea. I can't believe I didn't think of that. But anyway, I prefer Weavile as an anti-lead of sorts. The thing with the Weavile is that if he leads, it's gonna be... I feel like this game could be just decided like turn one by who's got the biggest balls. Because if the scenario is, if he's a Colbert Jirachi, he lives, I die. If he's a Scarf Jirachi, he lives, I die. If he's a Leftovers Jirachi, or a Shuka, or an Okaberry Jirachi, or something stupid and a defensive, he dies. If his Nidoqueen is Focus Sash, I die. If his Nidoqueen, or, no. Yeah, if his Nidoqueen is Focus Sash, I die. If his Nidoqueen is Yachberry, well, that doesn't matter to me. If his Nidoqueen is Scarfed, I die. If I'm Focus Sash, he dies. So, like, there are all these scenarios. It's like a 50-50 because there's so many different ways that lead matchup can play out. It's just going to depend on who has the bigger balls and stays in and makes the play. And I think I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to go for it. If both of us stay in on that turn, I guess it just depends on who brought the right item for the scenario. Honestly, it's really going to be... That first turn is probably going to be the most exciting in the match. So, moving on. Miltank, again, it takes Banded V-Creates in the Sun from an Adamant Victini kind of well. So, it does a max of 60, but after one V-Create, Miltank outspeeds, and I can continue to click Milk Drink. The PP is 16, so I can just stall him out of V-Create, so I don't really care. I mean, even if he crits me, it would do 60, it does 90 max, so I can still recover and likely live the next one, so even if he crits me, it doesn't necessarily matter. I think it would be, I guess it would be a roll. And then I can get damage off with Seismic Toss, maybe click Counter when I want to. Counter is also there for one specific reason. I don't really want to run Counter this week, but I feel like I kind of need it. And I have Rocks here because I want to get them up because they're going to be pretty useful. Haxorus after Rocks is going to be in range of a lot of things. And Rocks just really help with taking down Haxorus. Victini, I don't so much care about Victini because, like... Victini doesn't switch in on Zardby anyway, doesn't switch in on Blackbeard, doesn't switch in on Donphan, doesn't switch in on VM alone, doesn't switch in on Weavile, and the only thing it switches in on is Reuniclus, but I mean I T-Wave that, so I'm not really worried about Victini. So Rocks are going to be good for Nidoqueen, Mega Lopunny, because this chip damage off on his offensive mons is going to be good, just to put them in range of a Blackbeard or a Zardby sweep. Moving on to Blackbeard, I've got Earth Power, Psychic, Sludge Wave, Rock Polish with an Expert Belt. Now, I wanted to run Life Orb, but I realized if I ran Life Orb, one simple calc and he would know that I was Life Orb. So that's a problem to me because I want to bluff the Scarf. Whenever Victini comes in, I'm bringing in Lando and clicking Earth Power. If his switch is Rotom, I'm switching out right away. I don't know to who, because I don't really have a defensive switch to Rotom. A lot of my mons can kind of take it on offensively. Like, it's not a switch into mine, but I don't really have anything that can switch in on Rotom. So that could be a bit of a problem. But I'm going to click Earth Power. I know it's really obvious and Rotom's obvious, but I'm doing it. And with Expert Belt, if he brings in anything but Rotom, expecting me to not make the obvious Earth Power play, or maybe he stays in with Weavile, does something insane, I am just clicking Earth Power and then I'm switching out because I'm going to bluff the Scarf. Also, if he brings in anything else, he sees the damage I do, and that's Scarf damage because Expert Belt only boosts my damage if it's super effective. And anything that I hit super effectively, I kill anyway, like Victini, Jirachi, and Nidoqueen. They die anyway. Lopunny does not, but Lopunny, Expert Belt isn't super effective, so I don't get a damage boost to Lopunny. So it's almost as if he's Scarfed. So it's perfect. It's a perfect bluff, and I'm going to come in on Lopunny, come in on Victini, come in on Jirachi, come in on Nidoqueen, come in on Braviary, Haxorus, on everything at neutral speed, because I will bluff the Scarf. And then late game, if there is an opportunity and I know he's going to switch, I just click Rock Polish and win the game. Because his only answer to Lando is Rotom Wash. Victini dies, Jirachi dies, Nidoqueen dies, Haxorus dies after a layer of hazards, and Megalopony dies. So yeah, and Sneasel too. Sneasel a problem. That Life Orb Ice Shard is going to do a lot, but I'm gonna bluff the Scarf, and all of a sudden I'm gonna Rock Polish and win the game. That is what I hope for. But I need to get rid of that Sneasel, which could be a problem. He could just save it in the back just for Lando. So Sludge Wave hits Togetic and Ludicolo. I know I know I'm not expecting those to come, but I'd be a fool to not prep for them. Earth Power hits everything, and Psychic hits Megalopony, while Earth Power does not one-shot. Psychic always one-shots Megalopony if it's at max. Earth Power does not, and I may not get rocks up this match, so that's why I need Psychic. Next, Mega Charizard Y. This thing is also going to sweep him because he's got nothing for this either. His only answer is Rotom, so Rotom's honestly going to be carrying a lot of weight. It's his only switch into Weavile, his only switch into Lando, he's only switching to Charizard Y. I mean, really, he's only switching to Miltank and Donphan and Reuniclus, so he's going to be carrying a lot of weight here, Jirachi. So I've got Donphan and Zard-Y next to go over. Zard-Y. Victini is not a switch into 2 Fire Blasts. Now, Victini could be Scarfed. If Victini is Scarfed, Miltank does not care, unless he's Scarfed and locks himself in a Focus Blast. Also, that's why I have a Chople Berry, because if he is Scarfed and doesn't lock himself in a Fighting move, I'm okay. If he is Scarfed and locks himself into a Focus Blast and hits, I've got the Chople Berry to reduce the damage, after which I think I have to make a play because I wouldn't know if he's Scarfed. But he could be a mixed attacker, mixed Victini. He could U-turn right here. But if he goes for like a V-Crate and then a Focus Blast, which is what I'm hoping, I click, Milk Drink or Stealth Rocks or Seismic Toss or whatever. Yeah, pretty much. Focus Blast is a problem. Mixed Victini is a problem. Focus Blast is literally the best way for Victini to take on Miltank. Miltank walls it otherwise. So I just have Chople Berry, so I don't just die, all of a sudden. So I switch in on a V-Create and then take that Focus Blast, so I don't just die. And if I find out that he isn't Scarfed, Zard Y can take it on because, well, depending on the speed, it'll at least be a speed tie. So in no case is it a switch in, because I don't know if he'd want to switch into a Fire Blast, which actually does over half, especially after rocks. If I do get those up, this guy will die to 2 Fire Blasts if he's not Scarfed. If he is Scarfed, he outspeeds me. If he's not, worst case, we speed tie, but that would be a hell of a risk for him to make. Rotom Wash dies to Fire Blast plus Solar Beam, which is why I'm expecting his Rotom to have Rindo Berry as his item, because, again, that's the only way to take on Zard Y. But at the same time, it's his... Like, Rotom's going to have to be taking on the whole team, so I don't even know how... I don't know, man. It's going to be pretty tough. Jirachi, not a switch into Fire Blast. Nidoqueen dies to Fire Blast. Haxorus does not die to Fire Blast after rocks, but he dies to Dragon Pulse. So that's that. If that Haxorus is not Scarfed, I'll just Dragon Pulse his face. I think Haxorus, if Haxorus comes in on Zard Y for free, it's just screaming Dragon Dance. Because there's no way I'm staying in on it, right? These are rock slide kills and outrage kills. I'm gonna think about that play in the moment, but right now I'm thinking that if Haxorus comes in for free against Charizard Y, I just stay in. If he's Scarfed, his outrage doesn't kill me, so I kill him with a Dragon Pulse. Now, Zard Y, I may come in at 50%, because of rocks, because I may not be able to get him away or whatever, but I'm not running Roost because there's no opportunity for me to Roost. I can't Roost on anybody on his team. Victini, nope. Rotom Wash, nope, because he'll hit me with a T-Wave or a Thunderbolts or whatever. Jirachi, can't do it. Nidoqueen, can't do it. Haxorus, can't do it. Braviary, maybe, but again, I'm not expecting that to come. Megalopony, can't do it. Return does a hell of a lot, so instead of wasting my time roosting, I definitely should hit him with a Fire Blast. And anyway, Return kills me when I'm at half. Ludicolo, probably, but I'm not expecting that to come. Togetic, probably, but I'm not expecting that to come. Miss Magius, probably not, because it would have T-Wave. So, like, there's no opportunity for me to roost against this guy's team, so just clicking, yeah, not bringing that. So that's trouble, but yeah, Haxorus dies to a Dragon Pulse, Braviary dies to a Fire Blast, Megalopony to a Fire Blast, Ludicolo to a Fire Blast, Togetic to 2 Fire Blasts, Miss Magius to a Fire Blast, and Sneasel to a Fire Blast, and his Ice Shard does nothing to me. It does like the 20 or 30% or something. So, yeah, Solar Beam is only there for Rotom. And then I've got the Tailwind, which doubles my speed for 4 turns, which is perfect. It's like Rock Polish pretty much, but only for 4 turns. But I mean, I'm not really going to need it for that much. If I just punch holes into his team for a few turns, that's fine because he has no switch-ins. And if I get up a Tailwind, Haxorus does not come in on me because I'll just click Dragon Pulse and kill him. Literally nothing comes in. The only thing is maybe a Jirachi that can live a Fire Blast, or like even Victini will not switch in on me unless it's for free. And then I think I may be going into a switch or whatever. Next one I've got is Donphan, which I brought only for Rapid Spin. I would have probably preferred to bring some other offensive Mon, like maybe Greninja, or Raichu would have been cool, but I brought this guy just for Rapid Spin. Because I think there will be an opportunity for me to spin my rocks away. Because he's going to set him up, I don't doubt that. And there will be an opportunity for me to spin them away. So I've got Rapid Spin, Knockoff, Ice Shard, and Earthquake. Rapid Spin to spin rocks away, Knockoff because it knocks off Rotom, Wash's item. It's my only thing to hit him with. Earthquake for Victini, Jirachi, Nidoqueen, Haxorus, Megalopony. Does a hell of a lot of damage to all of them. Haxorus actually dies to EQ, I think. If not, then EQ plus Ice Shard for sure. And Victini dies to EQ, Jirachi dies to EQ, Nidoqueen dies to EQ. Any of those mons could be Shuckleberry, something I have to watch out for. Lopunny, I think, dies to EQ plus Ice Shard, but I could be wrong about that. That may not be true. But I don't think Lopunny wants to take hits from me because, I mean, I'm Donphan, and I do more damage to him than he does to me. Togetic, walls, but whatever. Ludicolo, walls, but whatever. Miss Magius, I've got knockoff for that, and he can't T-Wave me, so that's not really an option. Sneasel, again, I wall Sneasel. I don't care. I mean, I don't wall it, but he can do a lot of damage to me with an Icicle Crash, but I click knockoff, and then, you know, this thing's dead, basically. Next Rock Switch in, or Life Orb hit, or whatever. So, I'll have to preserve this guy, though, to make sure rocks stay off so that my Zard doesn't take any unnecessary damage. I'm running Custab because a Custab Earthquake on a Victini or a Jirachi is going to be so clutch. Because if he, I'm thinking if he's got flinching Scarf Jirachi and he wants to start flinching everyone down, and my Donphan's low, I bring in Donphan and it looks like I'm trying to sack him, but after an Iron Head, it drops me to Custab range and I click EQ and kill the Jirachi. That would be ideal. Since I'm Adamant Max Attack, that's definitely going to kill the Jirachi. Same thing for Victini. He may think that because he's in the sun, a V-Crate is going to do a lot of damage to me, and actually a V-Crate in the sun kills Donphan, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I mean, if there's an opportunity against Victini to bring in my Donphan and I run the calcs and I know it won't die, I drop the Custab range, click EQ, that's it. Victini's down. His only switch in to me is like Rotom, again. Rotom is the switch into everything on my team. So if everything on my team can hit it, it's going to get worn down quickly. Ice Shard. Ice Shard is there for one reason, and that is Haxorus. So what happens is, Donphan, when Haxorus comes in on one of my mons, Donphan is my switch into Haxorus, because if he's a Life Orb Outrage, he doesn't kill me. He clicks that Life Orb Outrage, and I live. Add him in Life Orb Outrage, and I click Ice Shard. Drop him to about 65. If he D-dances, I mean, same thing. I click Ice Shard. Because of Mold Breaker, he'll break through my Sturdy, unless I see Unnerve. Then I can't use Cuss That, but I don't really care. I'll just click Earthquake plus Ice Shard, and I'll kill him. If he's, for whatever reason, not Life Orb. Because I do live Outrage at +1. So if he D-dances, and he's Life Orb Outrage, and I switch in for free, I live in Outrage at +1 if he's not Life Orb. So, Earthquake plus Ice Shard will kill. But the ultimate way to deal with Haxorus, I come in, whatever he does, I click Ice Shard, because I'll be able to get one Ice Shard off no matter what. So one Ice Shard, he's down at 65. After which I bring in Miltank. If he clicks Outrage, I click Counter and kill him. If he doesn't click Outrage, Donphan actually lives, so I get 2 Ice Shards off. And at that point, he's at range of a Seismic Toss from Miltank. So then I kill him with Seismic Toss. Complete worst case, somehow this goes to hell and Miltank dies, I bring in Weefile and I click Fake Out and I finish him up. So Haxorus can be a real problem, but I've taken the precautions, I think, to deal with him between these mons. So yeah, that's the team. I think it's going to be a pretty offensive match. That friggin' Rotom. Once Rotom goes down, I feel like his whole team is going to hell, because he will have no switch-ins, and he's gonna think that my Lando is Scarfed the whole time. Scarf Lando would be really, really good for this battle, and I may bring it the next time, but for now, I'm just gonna bluff the Scarf and hope I win with Rock Polish at the end. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you at the battle when I play potentially the best guy I've ever played. Fat Leo, out.